Hey folks, this is a Moria Speedrun's video production note. I think it's number 8. In this video, we are going over a plethora of script changes. So we are trying to modify those scripts to make video production go a little bit smoother, a little bit easier. And we've learned some more things. Things have changed. And I want to show you just how they've changed. So let's have a look at the new scripts. Okay, let's take a look. All right. Oh, it is early, folks. Very early. Yeah, I thought I'd just go over a list of the things I've modified, things I've changed, things that have improved. First thing was some webcam craziness. So, if you look at our scripts to start a camera, looks a little different now. It used to kind of look like this, but now we need to put in our full device name because Dev Video 1 and Dev Video 0, they change. You boot and it's different. Dev Video 1 could be this camera right here, or it can be this camera right here. It's very dark. So, yeah, I don't know why it's so dark either. I mean, if you look at our gain, let's change it to 90. See what happens, shall we? It's still very dark. Is it better? Not really. Anyway, so there's that craziness. There was a bandwidth issue. It's hard to believe you can have a bandwidth issue with USB, but you can. When I was doing this, when I was saying give me a full screen, please, it was sometimes returning a green screen. The whole thing was just solid green. That's on the second camera, not this camera. But I did go through a period where this camera was green too. Anyway, this seems to fix it. Change that back to 60, I think it was. So that's the first thing. It's kind of licked. This morning I added 60 frames per second on 30 frames per second, on camera 2. Seems to work without getting the green. So, yeah, look out. There is a bandwidth issue on the USB bus. We now have the Speedrun video assembler. I'm not sure I've shown this, but it looks like this. Where is it? Oh, that's because it's wrapped. Okay. What we do is we get the first and second screencasts, we copy the extra parts of the video in, and then we run Speedrun Video Assembler. Not bad, right? We have an intro, then we have the blurb, then we have a transition. That's the Moria Speedrun's whoosh thing. Then we have the long first screencast, then we have the recap, then we have the recap transition, then we have the recap itself, and then we have the credits. So that is what makes an XJS file, and then we pump it out just like that. Let's have a quick look at the Speedrun video assembler. This is so that I don't have to use any PTV stuff in a typical run. If I want to have an overlay or something, a title, then I do have to use PTV still. So here's the script. It goes and gets the URIs for each of the files we give it. And then we run get video duration on each URI. It gives us the time in like nanoseconds or something crazy. 9 zeros. A second is 1 and then 9 zeros. Is that nano? I think it is. So, after we get the durations, and do some checking. These are just some static times. How much does the intro overlap with the blurb? How much does the start of the first transition overlap with the blurb? Right? And so on. So those are just hard-coded numbers, and they relate to the videos themselves. When the green ends, so we've seen those videos before, there's green at the start, and the green gets replaced with the other videos. So yeah, I have to plug in exact values for those. And then we do math. I was told there would be no math. Well, there's a little bit of math. And we just calculate where we want the transition to start. The transition, the recap transition, and the credits. And then we figure out where our videos are going to start. The blurb, the play, and the recap. The play is the main one. It also needs to know the total duration, so we add that up. And then we work on our OK file. Our OK file is a sample XJS file, but with these at identifiers in them in place of the values. And substitute var actually goes in to OK. And it goes into our temp file that is OK, right? And we replace that with our value. And we do it for all of them. When we're done, we just cat it out, and that's that. So that is the Speedrun assembler, folks. Not bad, eh? So, yeah, I've shown you a new video. We hid the toolbars in, we stopped hiding the toolbars in Firefox. Just load that up. See this up here? This is now going to stay right where it is. Here, I'll show you again. Here. This stuff right here used to go away. It used to hide it. So as soon as we moved down, recap would move up and this would all disappear, which is all right. But it's jarring. It's jarring to the viewer. So now this stays up. I would like to get rid of this bar here, but I don't know how. So it stays up. We can still go look at our charts and whatnot. So that's another thing we added, just another little thing. Next thing, edit screencast audio. I guess we've modified that. I don't remember how. Offhand. Well, you know what? I don't think I've shown this yet. Okay, what it does is I have shown this. It loads up all of our WAV files and the OGG file that pertains to the blurb. What is different is that this extra music for the recap is a different song now. I was playing 6 April by Valentin Barrow, but I looked closely at his license, and it was CC by ND for no derivatives. And no derivatives means you cannot use it in video. So I asked him, I've asked permission to use them, the song, but he just does not reply, maybe because he's not English, and my request is in English. I don't know, folks. So I went with this Letting Go by Josh Woodward. He's pretty great. He's on Jamendo, and his stuff is CC by. So I have also made a new credits. You've probably seen that. Yeah, and it has a different song in it too, and it's appropriately licensed. So there's that. Oh yeah, this is cool. I can't show it though because I don't have video. I can explain it anyway. Quickly. Okay. When we are running trim and it asks us a question, it says, where do you want the intro to start? Where do you want the intro to end. So it's trimming the video. You give it the 2 times, right? So to help with that, I made this script called showfortrim.sh that starts on player like this with the fractions so they're on the screen. And then we send key commands to it to turn on the fractions, pause the video, go back to the start, and pause again. Because as soon as you hit O, as soon as you start the M player, it begins playing. So you hit O to get the time up on screen, the OSD, the on-screen display of the time step. As soon as you hit O, and anyway, you know what I'm saying. So we do it for the intro, and then we do it for each of the screencasts. Now, I've had trouble with these screencasts because their file names are not in alphabetical order in terms of time. So when I sorted them, when I just said, hey, give me a list of screencasts, if the screencast happened in between AM and PM, sometimes the later one would appear earlier than the first one. So that's what this 1TC stuff is all about. Time creation, that's what that is. And then we sort it forwards like that. So that is that. That is the show for trim. So all the screens pop up, and I don't have to run anything. I just click and hit space and whatnot, and then plug in the numbers. So that's show for trim. And the watch generation is something I run during the generation of stats. It can take a while, right? So you run generate stats, and then it's just going to go off and run all these Moria scripts and stuff. So what this does is it does a PS every 5 seconds, and when it finally reaches 0, it plays the Letting Go song. So I can be elsewhere, and I can hear that, and I go, oh, it's time to do the recap. Because that can take about 24 minutes on a typical run. So that's that. Yeah. What else? What else have I modified? And there's nothing else in my changes list. Oh, yeah, there it is. Modified scripts to account for AM, PM, and screencasts. Yeah, that was annoying. So I did all that automated stuff, and then all of a sudden the audio wasn't working right because they put this audio in that screencast when it's supposed to be switched. And you see what I did there? I'm not giving you a look at my closet. No way. So, let's see. I've been doing a lot, actually. I've been doing a lot of runs. I made this script, too. Where is it? Render video. And all it does, launch, guess launch, or just launch, I don't know which it is. It has issues. So what I do is I put it out to this temp file, and then I source it to make this go. But all it does is it takes the latest XJS and it pumps it to a new WebM. And it takes a long time. It takes so long that I've been wanting to put the rendering on another computer. To do that, I made this script. Package latest XJS. And for that, all I do is I tar up all of the files that are in the XJS, and then I also package up that render video script. So I can just send this tar file off to another machine, untar it, run render video, and in however long, usually 2.5 hours, it finishes. So, yeah, that's the time-consuming part. The most time-consuming part of doing this, it doesn't involve human interaction, is that render. So, yeah, it would be nice to really link that into an upload and everything. I bet you there's a script to do that, to upload to YouTube by the command line. Anyway, so that is that. That's all I can think of. Anyway, I have also messed around with this background. If you were to really look closely, it's like a few pixels different. What else can I show you? I think that's it, folks. Oh, here's the thing. See that pretty equals thing going on there? Oh, it's empty. Okay, sometimes when I do a record with audio, that WAV file there comes out a little wonky on the left and right side. The right side turns out to be a lot louder than the left. Now this looks pretty even, I gotta say. Although it might be off. We'll see. So anyway, what I do now is when I begin a podcast, I actually check my levels in text form to see if the right is like way out of whack compared to the left. If it is, then I can restart. Rejigger it. So anyway, it is a nice way to check my levels because that's a thing we need to do. It's a thing we need to do because there's a bug somewhere in the microphone code. Sometimes I begin the microphone and it doesn't, it works fine. Left and right are the same level. And sometimes I start the microphone and right is like, rah, 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 and left is blah, blah, blah. So that's my imitation of my microphone. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. It's lighter out now, see? And that's good. So, that concludes this tech note. And yeah, how do you like it so far? If you have any suggestions about how to improve, just send me a line at Moria Speedruns on Twitter.